Hey, it's Nate, and today I'm going to be giving my review on Bleach Rebirth of Souls. I want to start off by saying that I'm typically not a person who really made that much time for gaming before this game had dropped. Just to paint a quick picture here, full-time job, I have a girlfriend who I spend almost all my time with, but this weekend, I had my girlfriend sat down on the couch there with me, watching me play Bleach Rebirth of Souls and having the time of my life. I do want to say that in this review, I'm going to be giving my 100% honest opinion. And in saying that, I feel like there's going to be a lot of people who will not agree with what I have to say in some places. But I want to start off with the gameplay. From the gameplays, in terms of enjoyment standpoint, I have to give this game, if it's a ranking, an 8 out of 10. It feels just so immersive and fun. It's just so nice that we get to play a game that really feels like a little bit of a mixture of like the old Budokai days or the Burst Limit days mixed with the more recent like Hinokami Chronicles type of vibe of it, where it's like it's not something that we haven't fully seen before, but at the same time it has a unique and fresh take with the Konpaku system and having to kind of like at times not think too hard, but plan out how you plan on taking out your opponent. If you want to wait a bit longer to use your final move, or if you want to use it the second you see red on the health bar. I love the fact that every character truly does play differently, including all the variations of Ichigo, which is just so unreal. And I do love that playing this game, you can mash if you're really committed to mashing, but you will go so much further in taking the time to just learn very simple combos. Now, on the other side of saying things that I don't feel was done all that well, or things that I think may have been overhyped, I'm going to start off with overhyped because I don't have that much to say when it comes to that, is that a lot of people were saying that this game has crazy depth in combo. And this is not a skill issue comment when I say this, that I've been able to make some pretty fun and amazing fun combos, but I will say that I feel like majority of people who've played the game for as long as I have can make the exact same combos that I have, in the sense that like I don't really think that this game can offer you the same level of combat combos like Mortal Kombat or Injustice, etc. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that game has to be that whatsoever. The only issue in this is when we market it as a super FGC friendly type game, then that's when you're going to be met with people saying, oh, well, Bleach fans were overhyping or Bleach fans were lying in that case. When if we just market this as a very solid anime fighting game, then it hits the mark perfectly. And in that regard, I have to say, deserves all the flowers. Now, one area that I really do want to say brings down this game's overall rating for me, and this is not going to be a popular take whatsoever, is the game story mode. I want to start off by saying that the music in this game truly is a 10 out of 10. My goodness, I actually found myself booting up the game just to hear people's themes, especially Ichigo's. Like, it's something else. And I really do want to say that although I'm about to make some comments about the story mode that might not be the most positive, I really do have so much appreciation and respect for the people at Tamsoft. But the main thing that I want to say I didn't necessarily love about the game's story mode is the simple fact that the visuals, when it comes to the in-game cutscenes, when they have the character models kind of just standing there and talking, felt like it was just way too present, and it almost felt like you were watching a way worse version of the anime, where you're just watching these 3D characters kind of just stand there stiff, occasionally change their expressions, and almost kind of just take you out of it. And don't get me wrong, I know that there's going to be a ton of people who absolutely adore this story mode, and to them I want to say, I'm not saying that you're wrong, or I'm not going to call you a liar or argue with anybody. If you love the story mode, power to you. I'm very, very happy for you. But for me, a person who is so amped to play this story mode, I was like, I honestly can say I don't think I found much enjoyable aside from the music. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. And the visuals that were actually drawn and slightly animated were so good for a person like me that hates seeing slideshows in anime video games. Bleach Rebirth of Souls, oh, whoever was responsible for illustrating that and editing was killing it. I loved those animations. But for the actual like in-game 3D model cutscenes, I have to say that brought down this game's rating by a significant amount for me. And I do feel like the game story mode dragged on way too long in my honest opinion. There's many times where I'm like, if it's gonna be this long and include every single conversation, more dialogue and cutscenes than actual gameplay, then at least try a little bit harder to make the cutscenes look good, or just cut it down a little bit and put some of that extra budget into the gameplay. Like, one way that I think Rebirth of the Souls could have taken it to the next step is the fact that I feel like when you're playing the game for a long time like I did, and clearly this isn't a big problem because I already have 31 hours on the game, but when you're playing for a prolonged period of time, and let's say you're maining a character, you might end up feeling like you've seen their final animation. Their I don't remember the actual terminology, but when you actually are able to take out the stocks, the kampuku, the issue is you will end up seeing the same animations over and over and over again. And I know that every character has not every character. Some characters have their original your original animation, your awakened animation, and even at times reawakened animation. But I feel like if there was just an additional animation that they could add in for when you before you hit your awakening, I think that would go such a long way if it could be kind of just randomized to give us just that little bit of extra variation. That is an extremely nitpicky small comment that I wanted to include in here because I remember playing the game and thinking, oh man, I kind of wish I could see this character do just a slightly different animation. But once again, giving respect to the fact that from what I know, Tamsoft doesn't seem to have the same level of a budget like a CyberConnect 2, who have done beautiful work on things like Kakarot or the Storm series when it comes to their cutscenes. So I do want to say that for the budget I assume they may have had, they did a great job. And like I said, for the people who really did appreciate the story in its entirety, like, I'm very happy for you. The people who I'm not so happy for are the PC players who probably anticipated this game just as much as I did, or even 10 times more, who've been waiting for a new Bleach game for 13 years, and we get it and you can't even play it. For full price, you're dropping, in Canada it's $80. I think in the States it's like, yeah, $60. And you're buying a game that doesn't actually work. And then on top of that, you try to go online and you can't find any matches online, or they take forever to load. And for the people who were on the PC, it seems like they were having a lot of heavy connection issues. One surprising fact for me, which I find extremely hilarious, is I am so notorious for having the worst Wi-Fi out of all my friends and family. But when it comes to Bleach Rebirth of the Souls, I was like, you know what, let me try an online match. I go upstairs where my router is, and I'm playing the game, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm not experiencing any lag or input delay whatsoever. And I thought that was the most unreal thing, that I was able to play a game perfectly online. But when I went online, I saw that other people could not share that same sentiment, which honestly makes me kind of sad, because I've never actually been this invested in a game's launching, just because as much as I love Dragon Ball and Sparking Zero, we've had so many Dragon Ball games to the point that even though I was ridiculously excited, I could kind of temper it. But Bleach, I was like, I need this game to succeed. I need this game to do well, because I know how much it would mean to the fans, man. And also the series, I think, just deserves it. But that doesn't mean that in giving my review, I'm going to be fake and say that this game is 100% perfect, it's the best anime game. I don't think it's the best anime game. I think that it's a good anime game, and possibly even great. But I just feel like there were certain areas that we really could have improved. And what I really hope to see from Bleach Rebirth of the Souls moving forward is that, number one, they improve the online gameplay, that they're able to fix these issues with the PC port and a few other issues, even on console as well. Like, you're not able to adjust your display settings on the PS5. So on my television upstairs that's not that big compared to the one I have downstairs, everything is zoomed in, and I can't even quickly just go into display and adjust it. Very small things, but just like, I really hope that Tamsoft really sees that it isn't too late to fix things. We've only had this game for less than a week, so there's still some time to really show that they care and they want to make things right. And a huge way I think that they can make this right, and this is just a really personal thing that I hope that we can see, is that give us at least one free DLC character. And it doesn't have to be anything too wild. Give us White Ichigo. He's in the game. He's already has his voice lines. You already have his animations. Give us the Shikai version of White Ichigo. Make him go into Bankai and then give him the Bankai gameplay that we saw in the story mode. I am so disappointed that he wasn't in the final roster, even just as a skin, as an Echo Fighter. You already have all the assets you need for him to be in the game. Why isn't he there? That's just so disappointing, at least to me. So, if I could give Bleach Rebirth of Souls an overall rating, I'm going to have to give it, in my honest opinion, a 7 or at least a 7.5 at most. Because the game is refreshing enough for me to sit down and play that game for hours on hours, for me to play the game and make my girlfriend watch and say, look at how cool these characters are, and feel as if the characters are being done justice in terms of their style, their flair, the music, the voice acting. I loved it. I truly loved it. But the areas that I felt it truly felt flat, I have to make sure I'm being honest. And for me, that story mode did not do it. And I'm really disappointed that people were comparing it to Naruto Storm before the game had launched. A few content creators who were definitely just trying to generate hype were comparing the story mode to Storm, and I think that's just extremely disingenuous, because some of the cutscenes in that story mode, to be honest, were a straight 5 out of 10. I'm so happy that we were able to see things like Tensei Zangetsu or Ishin, or so many things that like a lot of people probably wouldn't have expected in the game, but to compare it and hype it up the way that people did, I don't think that the story mode is what's going to keep people invested or interested or talking about this game. I think it's that very fun gameplay. So yeah, this has been my thoughts on Bleach Rebirth of Souls. If you made it this far in the video, please consider dropping a like and subscribe. And aside from that, take care and have a good one.